Guys, I want to talk to you today about something that I don't see a lot of other people talking about, and it's kind of our roots, okay? How we got where we are in this fragrance community and the groundwork that was laid with some very influential fragrances that got the whole world talking, that defined a generation and allowed designer companies to kind of step out and take some risks with some master perfumers that defined their catalog in a way like nothing else. And a lot of these that I'm going to bring up to you are incredibly reminiscent. We're going to take a little walk down memory lane. Okay, guys, but the fragrances I'm going to go over you today are the reason why we have Dior Sauvage. It's the reason why we have Versace Eros. It's the reason why we have Acqua di Gio. It is the reason why we have this hobby that all of us who are watching this video, who are in this space, it's the reason why we all have what we have. Because these are your bricks, guys. These are the bricks that lay the foundation of what we have. Let's go with the first one. And like I said, guys, these are going to take you down memory lane. Now, guys, I'm going to set the scene for you, okay? If you were in high school or middle school in the mid to late 90s, the fragrance I'm about to say to you, you're going to immediately know exactly what it smells like. And for the people who weren't in school that time, you've probably smelled this at some point. And I don't think you guys understand how influential this was to the world as a whole, okay? This was the must-have fragrance growing up. It was everywhere. If you had this, you were cool. If you didn't, you weren't. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is where the dupe started to come in, was on this fragrance right here. Do I need to say anything more about this, guys? You know exactly what this smells like. Now, when I just showed that to you, tell me how many of you got nervous that you didn't have your homework in your backpack? I'll bet you a couple of you remember the smell of the hallway, of the lockers going down the hallway. You might even remember your locker combination, because this was high school, guys. This was getting into everybody's car. When you didn't have to ride the bus, or even when you did, this was everywhere. And this laid the groundwork for a lot of the stuff that we have today because of the frenzy that came with this thing. Everybody had to have this. I remember going to Walgreens because, at the time I couldn't afford it, but I remember going to Walgreens and getting the first dupe of this. Okay, it was one of those things that you had to have it because it was one of the best smells out there. It didn't smell like anything. It didn't smell like your dad's Barbasol. It didn't smell like Aspen. It didn't smell like Brut. It was fresh. It was appley. It was alluring, but you didn't know nothing about notes. You just knew you liked that smell. If you haven't tried this, try it. If you were alive at the time and wore that, buy it. This is a 200 milliliter bottle I picked up at Burlington. It was $23.99, guys. That ain't gonna break anybody, especially in here. And if you're a collector, you don't have this in here, shame on you. Now, in that same time frame, another one came out that was just as influential. Now that it's been reformulated a couple times since it came out, but this is another fragrance that, the cool kids had it and you started to smell it, where you smell Tommy, and then this started to come out and you're like, damn, that smells good too. It's fresh, but it doesn't have that same thing that the other one had, but it's still just really, really nice. And then you started having almost these wars between the two that were unspoken. You know what I'm saying? But it was the first time where you had two fragrances kind of competing for popularity that the cool kids had. And like everybody had it. And they made knockoff air fresheners of it. Okay? And that fragrance, tell me y'all don't remember this, guys. Seriously. Try and tell me with a straight face you don't remember that. This was in everybody's car, everybody's locker, everybody's backpack. It was the going out scent on a Saturday night. Like, this is more high school, I think, than middle school. Tommy was more middle school and then into high school, at least for me. But this was the high school fragrance, guys. If you weren't wearing Polo Sport, what are you doing? Or Polo Green. I'll give it that as well. Okay, polo green as well. The old formulation, not the new one. This to me is the reason why. It's the reason why now we have smells like Aqua de Jo. It's the reason why we have our very fresh, citrus forward, just blast of lemon and lime and everything else freshies, is because of, you know, designers like this taking a chance, because this wasn't complex for the time, guys. You got to remember, during that time, I mean, late 90s, we're going to go over the next one that was super popular, which was kind of groundbreaking, but this was beautiful, guys. This was absolutely beautiful, and everybody wanted it when I was growing up. But this is another reason why a lot of your modern freshies that we have now, it started with this. You can joke on this all you want. This was, how much was this? Let me look. This was $17.99 at Burlington. Between two fragrances, 300 milliliters of fragrances, we are almost busting the $40 mark. I think we just busted the $40 mark for 300 milliliters of fragrance. Beautiful fragrances, by the way, guys. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to preface this, okay? This was high school, but this was the older kids in high school, okay? This was the sophomores and the seniors who started bringing this in, and I remember it very well, okay? The hallways would fill up with this because the old version of this, way stronger than the version we got now. The new version definitely been toned down a little bit, but man, this was iconic. This was going into college. This was your date night scent back then, guys. And everybody had it. And when I show this to you, you are going to remember not only the smell of this, but probably the outfits that you would wear in rotation with this. Okay, that's how much of a nostalgia that this is going to bring back for you guys. And here we go. Did that just give you chill bumps? I'm serious. You can smell this already. Now, the wild thing about this fragrance, guys, is that this actually came out in the early 80s. I want to say 82 or 83. I can't remember. But this is the iconic barbershop fragrance. This is going in when you're 13, 14 years old and you got, like, you know, a couple hairs everywhere and you want to be cool, and you grab your dad's, you know, foaming Barbasol and you get a big old squirt of it like that, and you know, you got it all up here, and that razor, it could be dull enough to cut, you know, butter, but those two hairs that you're trying to get off your face, they're in zero danger of being cut by it. But that smell after you wipe that Barbasol off of your face with a towel, okay, and you go to splash something on, that's this fragrance, guys. It is barbershop in the best way possible. It is going to take you back, okay, the same way that I love Azzaro Pour Homme, and that's because, I mean, when I was younger, that it was literally Azzaro Pour Homme was what he sprayed after you finish up. He shaved y'all up, but it was a cologne version, not the EDT. But this is in that same vein, guys. This is a barbershop fougere that is gorgeous. It's iconic. It's timeless. Okay, and it's the reason why we have some of those much more complex fougères today. Creed Viking Cologne is a descendant of this. Do you see what I'm saying? Like this is great grandfather, and this is the new one. You know, this is the great grandson. But the barbershop essence that both of these have is there. This one's just done a little bit better because you have access to new ingredients. You have access to new aroma chemicals. But if this didn't take the step, do you think this would be here? I don't. Guys, you want to talk about being ahead of its time? I mean, for freshness out of the box, because in 1988, when this fragrance came out, okay, when the original one came out, this was unheard of to have this much of a fresh C note into it, fresh citrus note into it, with woods on the dry down, a complex makeup that was not a barbershop scent, that didn't have 35 ingredients, that leaned towards fougere, that everybody knew. Okay, this fragrance broke the mold, and it was everywhere. My dad had it. I mean, shit, my grandpa had it. My grandpa was not a guy who gave any care at all about fragrance, but the amount of times that I would steal this growing up, and even just, oh man, I just sprayed it down on this strip. I'm about to show you what it is, but just that little bit in the air, man. I remember packing my bag for middle school. Actually, no, I was in elementary school, 5th grade. 5th grade, guys, of having this fragrance, packing it in. You know, you're about to get on the bus, but you want to be cool because you're in your last year of elementary school, moving to middle school. And I guarantee you, first day of middle school, I probably wore this. But the nostalgia behind this, guys, if you don't have this in your collection, especially at the $15 price point that a lot of times this thing has at your big box stores or your discounters, do yourself a favor and buy it and learn a little bit of the history about this. Because it's an absolutely beautiful, fresh fragrance that I think everybody should have. Then, oh my gosh. I'm going to tell y'all a story after I show you the bottle, guys. I've talked about it enough. Subscribe if that's what y'all think it was, the scent I was talking about, guys. Tell me that didn't just bring you back. Guys, I vividly remember with this fragrance, when this thing came out, I mean, you couldn't go to a mall, you couldn't go to a restaurant, you couldn't go to a ball game, you couldn't go to a car meet, you couldn't go anywhere without smelling this. It was literally one of the most radical things that I remember now being in fragrance and remembering what I knew or remembering what I experienced back then about fragrance, recalling it when this comes up. Here's how crazy this was, guys. You could, on a road trip with your parents, okay, you could roll into a bathroom and there'd be a machine on the wall. Y'all probably don't even remember this shit. You put 2 quarters in it, you get condoms, you get, whatever, a whole bunch of other stuff on there. But one of the things that you could get is a little packet with some wet wipes that were covered in a fake cool water smell. Or they'd have, the same thing when you're about to get out of it, where you had a plunger that would pop out and there was like 3 fragrances that you could go to. So you go in there and, take a shit, and then you come out, you put 50 cents in this little machine and a plunger comes out and just sprays this, who knows, probably toxic, slop all over you that's a dupe of this fragrance. And looking back on that, I mean, think about that, guys. Can you imagine paying 50 cents just to be able to get a fragrance on you for a second? That's how influential these fragrances are, because I mean, it was huge. It was absolutely huge. And I wish you guys could have experienced it. I wish I could go back and see it, because it really was amazing. We have so many choices now, guys. So many choices. You forget when these things broke the mold. Guys, we're going to zip ahead to 1996, 1997. And this is a time where I was getting, one of my first kind of cool cars back then. I'm not even going to tell y'all what it is because it sucks by today's standards. I mean, it sucks, but back then, pretty freaking cool. But this is a fragrance that came out. You could pick it up at Walgreens. You could pick it up at CVS. You could pick it up at, the fragrance county at Dillard's or Belk, and I forget what it was called back then, but it wasn't called Belk. And I can't remember what it was for the life of me. But anyways, this was another one that, I mean, it was just everywhere. Man, it's definitely gone through some formulation changes. You can smell it now. But it was one of those ones that there was a whole movement behind it. You know what I'm saying? It came along with, the big parachute style pants. It came along with Jinkos. It came along with kind of all that Hot Topic era stuff. And when you smell this smell, when you go back to it, if you were in your 15, 16, 17, 18 years when this came out, guys, it's going to take you back. It's going to 100% take you back. And guys, I don't know if you know or not, I haven't been going over notes on any of this stuff. I'm just talking about nostalgia and where this came from. But I I'm going to show this to you, and every one of you is going to know what this thing smells like. You're going to smell it right when I show you. Just the regular original curve, guys. Now, the scent profile on this is iconic, okay? Nobody's duping it anymore. Nobody's doing anything like that. But the way that this thing projected the unbraggadocious profile of this while still being alluring, okay? With something that's fresh while not being a freshie. You didn't know what kind of musks were back then. You didn't know what saffron or any of those cool notes are. You didn't know what, you know, Akigala wood or, you know, Isoe Super. You didn't know what any of that was. I don't know if any of that's in this, okay? But we have so many options today, guys. But I'm telling you, if this didn't show up, I don't think this would have, okay? I think that these two are closer than what anybody gives them any kind of credit for, okay? Are these two scent profiles the same? Absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form are they even close. But the aura that these two give off, okay, how everybody had to have it, when you smell it, you were just like, oh my gosh, I want that. Because it was outside the vein of everything else at that time, with a scent profile that was accessible, with a scent profile that was different than anything else, that an exclusive crowd had. That's these guys. And again, that's me going back to the, if we didn't have this, we wouldn't have this. If we didn't have, you know what I'm saying? It's looking back at the history of this, seeing what made waves, what made a splash, and really giving it its due. And I think it's beautiful, guys. I really do. I think it's beautiful. And I mean, $12? Why not? Smell some history. This next fragrance, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It was the Dior Sauvage of its time, okay? Everybody wore it. All your exes wore it, girls, okay? Dudes wore it so that, I mean, prom night was successful. You know what I'm saying? You wore it on dates. You wore it in school to let everybody know, like, hey, I shop here type thing. But the scent profile was beautiful. We didn't know what it was, but we knew we liked it. You couldn't go into a mall. You couldn't go into a town center. You couldn't go anywhere without smelling this, because they pumped it out of the vents, and there were associates walking around the store with spray bottles, just hitting this thing everywhere all the time, okay? And some of you already know what fragrance I'm talking about right now. The minute that I said they were walking around the store spraying it. Here it is, guys. Now, guys, excuse my big hands, but this is a 50 ml, and it looks incredibly small, and I apologize about that. But y'all can't tell me you don't remember exactly the picture in the window when you first saw this. The music coming out of the store, the gorgeous models on all those pictures. Everybody wanted to be in one of those ads, man. It changed a generation. You want to talk about every girl in the entire school wearing Abercrombie & Fitch jeans, Abercrombie & Fitch shirts, hats, anything at all. That was the thing, man. This company made that generation of high school kids in a completely different set of clothes. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and this fragrance defined that generation. You knew what it was immediately upon smelling it. I mean, I remember getting a bottle of this and just getting done with my clothes, putting them in my thing, and then in my drawer every night I would just spray it down so that I knew that it would soak in, because I thought that's the way I thought fragrance worked back then. But you just spray this down so that you could pull it out in the morning and be like, all right, I already sprayed the night before, which means they're good all day. Little did I know, this shit lasts like 28 seconds. The old one was definitely stronger than this one, but the scent profile, guys, it's iconic. It's 100% iconic. I'm not going over notes with you guys. You know what this smells like. Shit, I think they still spray the same thing in the stores. Now they got more options, but this was the original, guys, and this changed a generation of people to move on to something that was, it was beautiful. This was that generation's Dior Sauvage. Every one of your exes wore it. Everyone. Y'all want to know what the vacation fragrance was back in 1992? The fragrance that you could actually say for one of the first times was the one that you would throw in the bag when you go to Disney World. You know, got a trip down to Florida, got to take the vacation fragrance. It's hot outside, I'm gonna wear this instead. Again, this is the reason why we have what we have today, guys. It's the reason why we have Afternoon Swim. It's the reason why we have Eros Energy. It's the reason why we have, you know, all of your very citrus, mandarin, limey forward fragrances that you associate with vacation. You associate it with summertime. You associate it with freshness, clean, just beautiful, kind of the original like citrusy sheeper, okay? And that fragrance, and you guys are gonna know it, okay? When I show it to you, you're gonna be able to smell it if you grew up in that generation. The original Nautica Classic. This scent is so iconic to me, guys. My dad was in the Navy. He would be gone for, you know, he'd be out on sea duty for 6 months. He'd be back home for 2-3 weeks, and then he'd be out again for 6 months at a time. It was during, a lot of it was during the Gulf War. He was gone a lot, but this was a fragrance that my mom bought him before he left. And I remember we all went out to dinner before he left, and I don't even remember where we went. I think it was Italian. But I remember that fragrance, and it was just, it was such a pleasant smell. You know what I'm saying? So this is a fragrance that I associated with my dad. And if any of y'all had parents in the military, Navy, Army, Marines, anything like that, y'all went through it as kids. I promise you did. You had to be the man of the house, okay? Like, you had to take care of stuff. You had to fix the lawnmower. You had to fix the cars. You know, you're 12, 13 years old, and you're figuring out, you know, how to do plumbing, how to wire electrical sockets. Like, you had to be the man of the house, but you still miss dad. You know what I'm saying? But there were times where I miss him, and I would wear this fragrance just to kind of remember my dad throughout the day. But it's a good nostalgia, and that's what's so beautiful about this stuff, guys, is that it can evoke memories in you that are real strong, but beautiful fragrance, guys, to have in your collection. It's just is a real good one, real good one. Try it. But guys, that's my trip down memory lane to kind of show you the bricks that laid the foundation for what we enjoy so much today, what the companies, the perfumers, the artists that put these things together kind of have as a groundwork from the past for what they do today. The evolution of those fragrances, what we see now, and it's absolutely beautiful. I highly suggest that you guys go out and at least try some of these. It's not a huge expense, and it's not going to be a throwaway. Every single one of those that I just went over with you are blind buy safe. The only one that's a little bit challenging, if you're not a friend of Fougères, is going to be the Drakkar Noir. Okay, but every other fragrance I went over with you, absolutely blind buy safe, budget friendly, and they are nice, guys. None of those were offensive, challenging fragrances, especially now. Okay, they are on such the tame side. In fact, some of you might think they're boring because of all the complexity that we have now. But remember, this was the framework for what you enjoy so much today. Guys, the olfactory art that we enjoy is subjective, okay? Every note is different. Something that I like, that I remember, that I enjoy, that I cherish, you might not like at all. And the same way with you to me, okay? But if you like it, buy it, spray it, overspray it, enjoy it, and don't be ashamed of it. Have a good day, guys.